So coming to our next function, SUMIF. I'm just clicking here. So the brief description is you can find the sum of an entire range which satisfies a criteria. Syntax is equal to SUMIF. You have to give the range and criteria, then sum range. This is our table of 10 students and marks of 2 subjects. First task is we have to find the total marks of students who got more than 70%. So for this you can use SUMIF. So first I'm giving SUMIF tab, or you have to press. After that you have to give the range. So the range is 70% is the criteria. So this percentage column is our range, comma, criteria is greater than 70%. So how you can give it? In double quotes you can give. So in double quote, greater than 70%, closing with double quotes, comma, and sum range. Total marks we need to find. So the total column we have to give us a range here. Then you can close the bracket, press enter. So you got the total marks of students who scored more than 70%. So you can just validate, click on the filter button. Now we have number filters. I'm selecting greater than 70%, click OK. So we have 4 entries and the sum of these 4 is 646. Our value is also 646. So our formula is correct. We have another example. Now we need to find summation of total marks of students whose name starts with SA. So we can give SUMIF. Ideally the range will be name column, comma, then criteria. Criteria is double quotes, SA star, closing double quotes, comma, sum range is total marks, close the bracket. So you got the result as 297. So to validate, I'm just filtering on this column name. I'm selecting the names which are starting with SA, click OK. If I'm selecting these 2 cells and seeing here, I can see 297 and our value is also 297, so that means it's correct value. This is the same example which I used for explaining the sum, but here if you see, I have given separate cells for giving the percentage and the logical operator here. This is the final cell where the formula is written here. SUMIF, range, criteria and sum range. So first I have to give the range. So you can see it is selecting R11 to R31. That is nothing but the percentage column. After that I have used the ampersand symbol. This symbol is used for concatenation. Since we are referring to different cells and using concatenation symbol, we don't have to give in double quotes, comma, Q11 to Q31. That is nothing but our total marks column. We are giving that range as our sum range. So in the end, we are getting the result as 10,951 as the total marks of students who scored less than or equal to 70%. So to validate, clicking the filter button, now I have to select number filters less than or equal to 70%. Click OK. Okay, so now we have to add these values. 10,951. We also got 10,951 as the value. See, this is how you can use the SUMIF function. Now this is having only one condition. What if you have more condition? So for that we have another function for sum called SUMIFS. I'm just clicking on that. So the brief description says to find the sum of an entire range which satisfies the multiple criteria. Syntax is SUMIFS, sum range. First you have to give the sum range, then criteria range 1, then criteria 1, then criteria range 2, criteria 2, and the list goes on. The syntax of both SUMIF and SUMIFS is different. If you see, the SUMIFS syntax is like first argument is sum range, whereas in SUMIF, sum range is the third argument and the last argument. We need to find the total marks of students who got more than 70% and whose name starts with A. So there are 2 conditions. One is percentage should be greater than 70% and their name should start with A. Without waiting, let's jump into the function equal to sum if yes, press tab. First argument is sum range. So sum range is total marks. comma, criteria range is percentage column, then comma, we had to give the criteria greater than 70%, comma, criteria range 2 is name, that is name column, criteria 2 is A star I'm giving, closing the bracket. So the value or the result we got is 157. So first we are filtering the percentage column, just unselect all, more than 70%, 4 entries, and the total value says is around 646. Let's see if there is anyone whose name is starting with A. Yeah, we have one guy whose name is Ashok. So Ashok total mark is 157, so we are getting the total as 157. I hope this is clear. So we are jumping into another big example. So like I shown in my SUMIF example, I have simplified the user entries here. Here we are getting the first condition, second condition, and this is the third condition. All these three conditions I am giving input on cell references, and this is the cell which is having the formula. I'll explain you the formula here. So here I am using SUMIFS function. So first I am giving the range Q9 to Q28. That is our total marks. That is our sum range. Next I am giving B9 to B28. That is nothing but the name. So here I have given the starting letter as M and percentage is less than 65%. This is 65% is coming here. So the other criteria column is percentage and the condition is less than. Don't get confused by seeing this formula. If I'm not using this reference and if I'm simply writing here as a plain function, I can write it like this, equal to sum range is total marks, comma, criteria range 1 is, comma, criteria 1 is less than 65%, criteria range 2, name starts with M, so M star, closing the double quotes, click enter. Since this entire column is formatted as percentage, the value we got is also in percentage format. To change that, we can click general here. So it will change it to 840. This cell is also reflecting the same value. So both our results are same. So our calculation is correct. I hope everyone is clear with this example. One more thing, what I missed to explain is the error handling method. Like I told initially, even if there is a text in between, some function won't consider that. They won't throw error. So we won't come to know if there is an error in between. For example, I have given one alphanumeric character like 1H here. Immediately I typed and pressed enter. Cell color changed to red. This is called conditional formatting. This is one way you can do to identify text in the entire table.